I'm Yadira Valadez. I am a creative technologist at Instrument. A bit about my background. I have a degree in computer science from the University of Colorado Boulder, and I'm currently working on an MBA through the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. Currently, my job entitles working in prototypes, proof of concepts, really kind of vision space, really creative, really art-driven. And we work with amazing clients, so I get my hands on a little bit of everything. So there's just not a focus on it because people don't see how intertwined it is. I think there's a lot of people, especially at who do websites, sell certain products. A lot of thought goes into the design of these things. A lot of thought and strategy and intention go into making these experiences unique. And so there's a lot of marriage between art and technology. I wanted something hands-on, and I wanted something that kind of gave me instant gratification. And I think technology does that. I think even just doing a tutorial, right? Like just starting from ground zero, you know nothing, do a quick tutorial on YouTube, or there's plenty of resources out there for it. And then actually getting something live within like a few minutes, even if it's something super simple, has like that instant gratification of I can build things, I can make things. I actually started working under NCESD, which is the National Center for Women in IT, in which the effort started from. And so I actually worked under NCESD as a student before Tecnolochicas actually launched. So it was already in the works, so I was kind of like behind the scenes. So I got really well connected there. And obviously I felt the need for that, not just growing up from my background, but also like even in college, I needed that representation. My university was very traditional in the sense of it was a large student body, but when I would go to my computer science classes, I remember there'd be like 300 students, and there would only be like 5 to 10 women. And then of those women, I would most likely be the only Latina in the class. And so the representation starts really early. Like it's not just in the field, it actually starts a lot sooner than that. I've done plenty of panels, I've done a lot of workshops. I think there was one in particular when I lived in Southern California. We went to this high school, and it struck me that there was a lot of students there that were low income, that were, had difficulties with family and immigration, right? And so it was really impactful to kind of share my story and, be approached by a lot of these girls and being like, I never knew that this was possible for me. Like, I didn't even think college was possible for me. And so that experience definitely like pushed my drive even further. I want to say this was about 2 years ago, but it's still one of the most impactful panels I've ever done, was just that approach afterwards. So it wasn't what we said necessarily, but just that interaction that we had with the students. I had a great support system in high school, so that was definitely an advantage that I had. Was I had counselors that genuinely care, and they were like, you do really well in math and science, like what about if you think about it? And so that was kind of like the spark of it. And so it wasn't until I took an intro workshop that my university was holding, and that was definitely where it cemented that I was like, this sounds interesting, this is fun. And yeah, there was definitely challenges along the way, but overall my passion that grew from that moment. I've seen from, friends who are also educators that a lot of times their students don't have access, right? They don't have access to computers, they don't have access to certain softwares. But really there's a lot of different ways to approach that. And I think game design is the one that comes to mind the most because it seems most tangible to kids, right? To students at any age. And a lot of that even dives into just like, let's storyboard this. Like, what would that look like? There's a lot of thinking behind like storyboarding a game. And, you know, I feel like there's a lot of methods to use that don't directly use technology, but have the thinking behind it. One of my favorite things to do with students is really kind of let them unleash a little bit. And perhaps in a time box way, it's like, here's like 10 minutes to just kind of go wild. And then it's amazing, like the things that they come up with. I also try to let them fail as much as possible. I think like we don't let students fail enough, and there's this pressure that they didn't get it right on the first time, and so it becomes overwhelming. But I think that that's like one of the skills that's just going to carry throughout school, throughout careers, and especially in technology. You know, like I feel like a lot of technologists, a lot of developers are constantly making jokes about like, oh, we built something and then it has a billion bugs in it, but we got it working. So it's like this, it's just an ongoing habit and practice to like accept your failures, but not dwell in them. Just kind of accept them and move on.